Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. I have a little art haul for us today, so let's go ahead and take a look. Let's start a little bit with these papers. I got this Ingress pastel, and I don't know what these feel like. I haven't worked too much in pastels, but I hear they're also great for pencil work and all sorts of other things. And I have some stuff in my want list that I think this will work nice on. See what that feels like. Ooh, really interesting. I'm also going to see how watercolor works on this type of paper, because if you put the pastel over the watercolor, the texture may help, although it might eat right through the paper. So this is totally going to be an experiment for me. And then I also got the velour. I have been so interested to see what this paper, if I can get it open, what this paper will feel like. Cover sheet. Ooh. I got the multicolor pack so that I could try it out. Oh, that is very interesting. Because I have tried pastel matte, but pastel matte has like a really gritty texture, and I feel like it just eats things away. So hopefully those will be really nice to use. Then I also got some paints, and these are going to come up in another video for a specific reason, comparison, my kind of Beatrix Potter thing that I've been slowly preparing, and it will be a really interesting video. So please click on the subscribe button so that you won't miss out. And so I'm going to save these colors for that future video, and I even have a little palette all ready for them. It's going to be, I'm so excited. Then we have, I have been wanting this one color. Throw it off to the side, the boxes. The Lapis Lazuli, I can't pronounce it, Lazuli. By Michael Harding. I have been wanting this color, and it was out of stock, and then it went back in stock, and it was expensive, and I kept going back and forth, and I just decided to go ahead and get that one. So we'll test that out today. And then I also got, to add to my Daniel Smith stick collection, because what I want to do is I want to put this like in a little barrel type pencil case and take it out and about with me. Thought it'd be really fun, and I will tell you the colors in 1 second. And just one guy in there. So I got Imperial Purple, Pyro Red, the white, Pyrrole Orange, Quinacridone Red, and Phthalo Green Blue shade. So I am going to go ahead and test those out today as well. And then I also got I wish they sold them all in the little like kits. This is called the Enhanced Secondary Mixing Set. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare on there. And I forgot to turn on my overhead light. And so we have Buff Titanium, really usable color. Quinacridone Burnt Orange. Undersea Green. Moon Glow. And Carbodazzolo Violet. So that is going to be added to my nice little Stick Stash, and we will go ahead and test those out today as well. And I forgot to turn on my overhead light. Now, this is something that I haven't tried in the past. These are those Pantone markers that are supposed to be water soluble and not go through the paper and all sorts of good stuff. So I only got myself the warm grays to go ahead and try them out before I got any more of them. I'm one of those people, I want the whole set, but I have to hold back because whole sets, you know, then I end up not using everything in a whole set and everything, and there's those new Neo ones that just came out, and I so want to try those. Which hence these papers might work really, really well for. The packaging is really nice on this, and the colors. And these are supposed to be total matching to Pantone. And this, like I said, is the warm gray set. And so we're going to try that out as well in the sketchbook today. So let me go ahead and get that set up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I grabbed out some Meeden hot pressed 100% cotton watercolor paper, and let's go ahead and see how these perform and what they look like. Buff titanium, and let me go ahead and zoom you in a little bit. I think you might be a little far away. Daniel Smith colors work so beautifully. There we go. Then we have quinacridone burnt orange. And I love these that you can draw with them or use them as a regular watercolor. Undersea green. Sorry, I didn't put these in any specific order. And you can see they wet really nicely. I splattered a little bit. Then we have Moon Glow. See how easy they re-wet right off the top? Sorry if you can hear a truck out there. I think somebody's getting a big delivery. Then we have, it kind of got cut off, Dazzlo Violet. It is cheaper to buy these in the sets. That's why I wish they had sets for all of them. Ooh, look at that. How rich. Imperial Purple. They're very close in color. You really don't need both of those. Pyro Red. I think you were getting enough light from the natural daylight, but I went ahead and turned on the overhead. It just gives so much glare when I open up the packages and different things like that. This is the Pyro Orange. Wow. Talk about really vibrant. Then we have quinacridone red. And the last stick of color, and then there's the white as well. Phthalo green, blue shade. Lovely. And let's go ahead and test the lapis, which I am really, really excited about. Let's see, hopefully it doesn't come pouring out. A little bit. A little bit. I'll have to put that on a... There we go. Had a little palette off to the side. They fill these up really full, and it just kind of pours out. A little more water on that. Look at that lapis. Ooh-wee. How pretty. So pretty. It's harder to dip from a wet color on a palette. My palette looks really, really bad right now. I have been working on a little project. I have colors all over it, so hopefully I won't forget where that color, I just put that color. All right, so now let's go ahead and test these out. See how these work. Warm Gray 10. And they have a pointy tip on one, a brush, and a flat on the other. Goes down really smooth, very juicy. And then we'll check the back of the paper after all this dries. This box is really heavy duty. And this is Gray 6. If these don't go through the watercolor paper, they're going to be really nice for some warm shadows. Warm Gray 2. It does seem like it's slightly darker, and that could just be because it's a bigger tip and a little juicier there. This one is 411, just 411. Very dark. $4.09. Yep, definitely juicier coming out of the tip there. And I did have them laying flat. $4.07. Put that one in backwards. $4.05. $4.03. They're all pretty close. I don't think you'd need this whole batch, to be truthful. I think you could definitely do with 2 or 3 of them and get quite a large spectrum of grays. And $4.01. These markers are quite pricey, so I really wanted to see how their claims were, because alcohol markers fade. They go through the paper, and then there's some other wetter type markers that also go through the paper. So let's see how they kind of feel like Pitt pens, I would say, is the closest to what they're claiming on this, being light fast, not going through the paper, water-based, dries completely so water won't go over them after they're completely dry, which we will test. So I'm going to let these dry, and then we'll come back and just see if they're water resistant or if they do bleed out with water, and then we'll check the back to see if they bleed through this watercolor paper. All right, I removed it from the block. They're pretty dry. There might be a wet spot on one of the paints up there. You can see nice and closely. These did lay down really, really nice. And no bleed through, none whatsoever on regular watercolor hot press paper. Now, it might bleed through on a very thin sketchbook type, but because they are fairly juicy, but I would say the closest related marker is Pitt Artist pens. Now let's check their water capabilities, see if they will bleed. And they seem to be coming out a little bit. This is a pretty firm brush, and I am going at it. Oh, that one. Now I did let these dry for a good 5-10 minutes. So they do lose a little bit of color. If they set longer, they may not lose as much. They're pretty permanent. But I wouldn't say you'd want to use this completely under watercolor, especially if it's a dark color. You probably have some bleeding, which you also get from Pitt pens. If you use a really heavy load, you will get a little bit of bleeding. So they're water resistant. I wouldn't say they're completely waterproof. Well, I hope this helped in your decision if you need any of these little art supplies. I really appreciate you joining me here, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.